Okay, so we're going to look at building up a persuasive argument, and for a lot of this you'll notice that what I'm doing is I'm building up a paragraph structure very similar to Peel paragraphs, so that's point, evidence, expand, link. There's a reason for this. It's a particularly good paragraph structure to use when you're building an argument. You may even want to go back over the paragraph writing sections of the Moodle, just to refresh your knowledge briefly. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to decide, okay, so I've got assignment 2 here on the Moodle, and I'm going to write arguing against this Pokemon Go craze. So I've done my research like you should have done, and I've got a point. My point here is basically it's a craze that's harming people. Firstly, I need to think about what persuasive techniques I'm going to use. And for this, I'm going to use a little bit of hyperbole. I'm going to use a little bit of exaggeration and chuck in some emotive language there as well. So I'm going to go with a bit of repetition actually to start with, and a bit of emotive language. So, we've got a bit of hyperbole, we've got a bit of repetition as there, as I've repeated craze over and over again. And I've got a bit of contrast there as well. I'm sort of saying, well, it's not just a craze, it's not just something that's popped up, it's fairly harmless. It's a craze that's harming and even killing our children. So, obviously, that is quite a hyperbolic statement. So, I'm going to need to back that up, really, aren't I? So, I'm going to use some evidence. So first off, I've got this article here where armed robbers used the game itself to lure a player into a trap and then mug them. So I can use this as evidence. I can draw some evidence from this. I can say that adult suspects were basically arrested at gunpoint in O'Fallon, Missouri. So we'll use that. I won't be that specific, I'll just say, in America, there have already been instances of teenagers being lured into car parks or alleyways by other users of the game and mugged at gunpoint. So, we've got our evidence to back that up there. Now I'm going to go on to expand, and actually I've just spotted there I can use quite a nice rhetorical question there that will link it back to that point I've made about killing children. Because that's a very effective statement. That's something that's going to really jump out at my reader and make me think. So I'm just going to start my rhetorical question now. I'm going to say, how long is it going to be before a child is murdered or abducted by someone via this game? So there we go. I've got a nice rhetorical question to get my readers thinking, and I might just want to close it up with a link. This is, so I'm going to in my link I'm going to refer back to the first point that I made. This is more than just a this is a fad that could very well end in tragedy. There we go. So I've turned that point there by using evidence to back it up, by using hyperbole, by using a rhetorical question, and by using emotive language. I've turned that point there, which was initially Pokemon Go is a craze that is harming people, into a really nice persuasive paragraph that really hits home. It gets people thinking with that rhetorical question in there. It appeals to people's emotions because I've mentioned that it could be harming and killing our children. And it's closed up quite nicely there with a reference back to the point. So you may want to use a template similar to this to writing your assignment for this week.